The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning and welcome to Guardian Radio. Today is, I forget the date. Today is Friday, December 27th, and it's a little after 11 o'clock in the morning. And once again, this is C.A. Newry, and I shall be your host for today. Today we're going to be talking Junkanoo. I'm going to continue a conversation because I was eavesdropping to On the Clock with Aaron Green, and I said, no, we need to have a profound conversation, an analytical conversation about the future of Junkanoo. On social media, I'm going to have a number of social media commentary today, and I'm also going to cite some commentary by social media protagonists, I can say that, who gave commentary. I'm going to cite their comments, even give credit to them, right? This is the theme of my conversation today. And hopefully I can get Aaron Green to come back up and join me to give some critique on it. If Junkanoo is broken, not working properly, surely it's the JCNP's fault. The managers of the parade who make the rules that govern the individual groups. Clearly, they do not understand their mandate and in fact cannot and will not enact what is expected of them due to selfish and self-serving reasons. That's the thesis. That's the overarching thing. We're going to critique the JCNP. We're going to critique Junkanoo and the parade. First, I want to congratulate the Saxon Superstars. They did a stellar job. It was beautiful. I mean, you sit there and saw their theme and how they perform. One sat and say, wow. Also, I want to recognize Roots. They came second. I didn't like their theme. I didn't want to talk about it today, but because that's not the theme of what I want to talk about, but I had tons of inbox. A number of you know that I am West Indian descent. I have Jamaican blood inside me, even though my family being here from 1783 to present. We've been here a long time, right? My Jamaican cousins inbox me and say, what in, I wouldn't say the word they use, what they all doing in the Bahamas, right? Why would on a national parade, a national festival, why would you be highlighting Jamaica? And I said, why are you all concerned? Isn't this a good thing for Jamaica? You all see that we are able to celebrate Jamaica? And two of my cousins who inboxed me, then I had a couple of Jamaican friends who inboxed me, said, we would have never done that in Jamaica. We would never highlight the Bahamas at all, right? He said, this could have never have happened. And I said, well, we highlighted France. He said, you know, they can understand that you want to highlight reggae, but to have your national cultural event highlighting another country, right, made people concerned, especially having in the middle of the celebration reggae playing by a DJ. You say, man, what type of event is this? Is this a Bahamian event or is this a Jamaican event? And like I said, I didn't like the theme. I'm not saying it was wrong. That Rasta, that Bob Marley costume was beautiful. So congratulations to them. But this is my main theme, and Aaron just joined me so I can read this, right? Marlon Johnson, right, who is, he does social media commentary. Brilliant gentleman. Wrote some suggestions on how to improve Junkanoo. I'm going to list those to you so you can comment on them. He said that Junkanoo may be broken and we need to fix it, right? He wrote 7 points. He said, it now takes 10 hours plus to have the parade start to finish. He also wrote, the breaks in between groups are much too long. People been complaining about that before. He said, Junkanoo has outgrown Bay Street some commentary about Junkanoo perhaps needing to be moved. 4 is inadequate amenities for what are now paying guests. Inadequate amenities for what are now paying guests. So basically, we need to consider those people who will pay and the amenities for what they are paying. That $50 price, they ain't getting adequate return. Number 5, dancers at the front of the big group are dancing to air. I saw the Saxon dancers, and they were dancing to whatever music they had in their mind because they couldn't hear nothing because there was nothing to be heard, but they did dance. Say groups are, that's number 6 now, groups are much too big. This is like maybe 700 to 1,000 plus in a number of groups, the larger groups.
So what?
500 to 700 plus.
I'll speak to that in a moment.
Yep. And number 7.
Hold on. Yeah, producer, I can't hear Newry.
Okay, hear me now.
Go. Yeah.
Number 7, mandatory lead pieces do not fit flow of parade. They're much too big. When I'm not sure if you see, like when the lead pieces spin around, it slaps people in the audience. It hits them in the head. I'm not sure if there's any injury. Who is responsible for that? Hopefully it's not government, right? Hopefully it's the JCNP have to pay for damage. That is the crux of the conversation today. Those 7 points given by Marlon Johnson on things that we need to fix. Mine will have a response by A.J. Rowell, who also responded, and I'm going to read that after you do some commentary, right? Because I want to ask, again, we asked this when Valley Boys had their fiasco, and the JCN had a response and the government had a response.
JCNP, yeah.
JCNP had a response. Whose Junkanoo is it? Meaning the parade. Who's responsible for fixing Junkanoo that we all can enjoy? The people at home watching on TV, the people who are spectators at the event, right?
And surely.
And we concluded, not we, but the JCNP concluded, especially after listening to Mr. Silbert Ferguson, who was former chairman of the JCNP, but who gave some insight of the general thinking of JCNP members, that the parade, not Junkanoo, the Junkanoo parade that happens on December 26th and on January 1st belongs to the Junkanoos, not the spectators, not the Bahamian people. And if there are things to be changed, and I gave a list of things that suggested to be changed, and I want us to go through each one of them and see the plausibility, it's the JCNP who have to consent and not the government. So what do you say about that?
I think the list is a great list, but it's not exhaustive, right? There's more things to put in there, but it's a great way to start. And it hits at the core of it. A part of the discussion we had this morning was that, if you root the parades to the core of the Junkanoo experience in the Bahamas, right? How it was originally practiced locally, and you identify the most important elements of that practice, then you craft rules, right, that are intended to maintain those most important elements, right, of the experience.
I want you to stick a pin in there because you say most important elements, and I do not know what is the most important element.
Nighttime.
So it has to be
It's a night thing.
Okay, that's just one. I'm not going to let you elaborate on it.
Yeah.
Nighttime. What else is the most important elements of Junkanoo for there to be a Junkanoo parade?
It has to be community-driven.
So
right.
Community-driven means that people from the community participate, or community-driven that people who do not participate can interfere direct?
No, the formation of groups has to be organic. So in the earlier hour, I suggested that music makers and prodigal sons who had difficulty getting to the B division, that they should consider working together, coming together, right? My uncle, who's senior man to me, experienced different Junkanoo who say, no, you can't do that. I get it in an instant because they are rooted culturally and historically to communities, right? And so I make the point to say this, that any body, any management body that comes in, you can't force the creation of groups. Now, you could try it. You could try a thing and say, look here, we have funding for the creation of 2 new groups. And we invite invitations for people to come out, right? But you need to enable the groups to form organically.
Okay.
That has to work. That has to be a core element of it.
That's 3 you mentioned. You said nighttime, you mentioned community.
And then the materials used for Junkanoo.
What you mean by that?
What I mean is that Junkanoo
Need to be imported crate paper?
was a practice of using what was available to you.
So you don't want crate paper?
Here's the thing. It's not that I don't want crepe paper.
Or you just don't want cardboard?
After 50 years of practicing this thing, how come we ain't making crepe paper? How come we don't have one established vendor of Junkanoo goods, which is actually a cooperative of businesses, right? So that we access to the materials that we need and at the best price possible, and that it is not a profit driven initiative, right? It is to ensure what we have available is available. There's so much material in this town that could be used for Junkanoo that is only clogging up the trash fill, the dump, clogging up those mechanisms. Junkanoo used to be use what you have, from the instruments to the costumes. And now Junkanoo has become a thing where either you could afford to participate in it or you cannot afford to participate in it. That is a central element of who has access.
I hear you. I don't agree with it, but I hear you. Let's go over the points that Marlon Johnson made, and so we can go to my next point. Just, you could call them off and do.
Yeah. Number 1, 10 plus hours for the parade itself, the whole thing to go through.
Is Johnson taking too long?
Yes.
Solution.
Well, we go to his point 1, groups are too big.
So, okay, you was telling me a group like a Saxon Superstars where every Bohemian wanted to be a part. I'm just exaggerating here because people want to be part of one family, not necessarily Saxons, right? That everyone want to be a part. Can you tell me that we tell, say, $500 the cap? You tell me the next 400 people to join a group they didn't want to join?
Or Saxons Part 2 or something. But you see, you have limitations that you have to work with.
So you should have 2 Saxons, Saxon A and Saxon B?
Musty or something. You cannot.
Or Valley A and Valley B?
Well, listen, leave it up to me. I coming out with the Anglo-Saxons.
But that's a different group. We talking about the same group.
The point is that if time is your limitation and you don't practice Obeah and you can't manipulate time, right, then you have to manipulate the other elements of the equation to get the answer right.
Let me ask you that. You belong to a group called HHT. Can you tell HHT they're not HHT because too many of them?
HHT is a bloodline thing.
Saxons is a bloodline
No, it's not.
thing. It's a spiritual thing. You're trying to say there's no spirit in Saxons? Some people born and will die as Saxon. They believe in it. They worship. They live. And you ever see that IQ Kenny? You ever see Ken Danique? You trying to say she ain't born Saxon? You trying to say Saxon's not in her blood?
Me and the bishop.
You trying to say
me and the bishop both agree she's born Anglican and she could die Anglican.
You trying to say if
IQ,
Saxon?
that's what he tell me too. Hold on, that's what he tell me too.
If Saxon lose, you trying to say she wouldn't cry? She wouldn't go in morning to say, man, she hurt? You trying to say that's not spiritual? You trying to say she should go and join another group?
You conflating groupers.
I'm just talking about.
You conflating.
I'm just you trying. Now picture this. She's a Saxon, and Vulla saying we have 500 people and we already count.
She's a Catholic or Anglican?
Yeah, hold on.
Catholics could manipulate time.
Let me say Vulla have 499 people, right? And they have one spot open. And Ken Danique said, man, as a long time Saxon. And you said, Vulla said, man, I didn't promise this to my nephew. You can't be no Saxon. You get kicked out of the group because the group reaches.
Hold on, somebody can tell that to IQ. You think I can tell that to IQ?
You just said the group too big. How can you tell Bahamians not to join their group?
The point is,
I hear the point.
That no matter how large your group is, you have to fit the limitation of the time. And see, a penalty.
So it's not the size; it's the time.
The size. The size is a determinant that you can change. See, this is an equation. And the fixed element in the equation is time. You can't change that, but you could change all of the other elements of the equation. If you can't change time, first thing you start off with is the group too big, right? We say, well, are we able to improve our efficiency and speed and move 900 people through this limited space in this limited time? If not, if we can't convince the members of our have to change the number of people in the group.
Imagine if they cut all the bellas and say, well, you only have space for...
You can't cut all the bellas. You have to have a core of everything.
So who is to determine who all be inside the group?
The groups determine that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
So who is to make the rule to say 900 is too small or too big?
The JCNP.
And the JCNP says 900 is adequate. So what
they also let a cow onto Bay Street.
We ain't reached there, man. Stick on to the 900 points. So if the JCNP say 900 is adequate, who are we to complain? They already say it's adequate.
The people who sat in Bay Street for 10 plus hours for the parade.
Let's get to those people now. Let's go to number 2.
Group breaks too long.
Once upon a time, Jeff Lloyd curtailed that, right? He penalized all kind of people in order to make sure that happened, right?
They could move quickly.
Quickly.
Yes.
They fired him. They said, no, I antagonized the Junkanoo so much that they don't want to even rush no more, man. They said the psyche, the mentality, the thinking, the happiness, the enjoyment was gone. They said, I ain't even happy to be no Junkanoo more. He shouts too much.
I heard that. I heard that before. I do whatever I want.
They what do they want?
I ain't gonna do nothing.
If I cannot enjoy myself at Junkanoo.
If I can't do whatever I want.
Once you have your labor, we own labor. If one thing I could do and control to the boss say, man, I ain't working today. I ain't calling in sick. You can't force me. Slavery over. And the JCNP, by extension, the group members, showed that to the government. They said, we ain't gonna rush. I hear you. You can control your parade.
Stay home then.
And they all stayed home.
Good, stay home then.
And the Bahamian people say, come election, we can remind you that Junkanoo must happen.
Yeah.
See?
Stay home.
And that is a discussion we need to discuss in the future. What is the government's role in ensuring that the parade continues? Because it looks like there's a friction or impasse.
See,
It
Yeah.
looks like there is an impasse where the JCNP, by extension the group, and the government do not agree on what it is that the parade should look like.
It's simple. If a group that does not show up to Bay can be asked to return the seed money, then if the JCNP, right, announces to the public that the members of the Junkanoo groups that also comprise the JCNP, right, like the Junkanoo groups whose membership comprise the JCNP have said that we ain't rushing this year, return the $35 million. Return it. Give it back.
I'm not sure the Bahamian people will be happy for that. But let's go to the next one.
Junkanoo has outgrown Bay Street.
Has it outgrown Bay Street?
But this is what I'm saying, right? The limitations of the road itself, right? The space provided to you with of the road once you put the bleachers down. Maybe we have too much bleachers.
I think we have too much bleachers.
Maybe people should stand. More people should stand.
I believe more people should stand.
Right? What if that's the case? But the space allotted is the fixed determinant. This is what the space is. You can't move the barricades. You can't move the bleachers. You need to figure out how to move all your people and all your pieces through this route in a specific, in a determined fixed amount of time.
This is an easy fix. You can measure the dimensions of the street itself and give the specifications to the various groups, saying your Junkanoo costume has to be this high and this wide. And if it's bigger than that, you know that you would be judged accordingly, penalized based on the costume. Mm-hmm. Solved automatically.
There was the text here from the earlier hour, and it's a couple of texts. We're talking with Mr. Mitchell about moving these parades, Boxing Day and New Year's, to a different venue. One texter said that the acoustics is not, and you just won't get the same experience. Maybe the acoustics have to change.
No, but this point. Remember, they say there's some core things about Junkanoo. Junkanoo is a street festival. It can go on any street once it's on the street because it has to be a street festival. It cannot be in a stadium because it won't be a street festival. Now, you can put a dome over the street and construct whatever you want to construct, but once it has to be on the street because it's a street festival, access to all.
I feel that.
And then they're saying that they want every Bahamian pay for the national event. And I'm not sure if
To pay for what, the JCNP T-shirts?
whoever, but my point is they won't put it in the stadium that everybody pay. Rich, poor, whoever. Well, the rich people don't pay. They just get come tickets.
The idea that Mr. Mitchell shared was that understanding the Junkanoo groups come from communities, and traditionally they would have rushed from the community. They're from into town anyway, right? That a parade at the stadium would also include the groups rushing from their community to the stadium.
You ever see them rush and get tired? Imagine rush from Fox Hill to the stadium and then have to rush again inside the stadium. That don't make no sense.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Oh, is Junkanoo hard work?
Of course it's hard work.
That's why I got on this shoulder brace now from belling. I bell my shoulder off. It's hard work.
Yeah.
That's another, hold on, that's another determinant, the fixed determinant.
Rush when
Everything else
you
move
rush
around
when
that.
you reach Bay, or you rush when you reach the event.
No, I agree with you because it seemed like a lot of people is just rush when they reach Bay.
Yes.
Thank God for the love of Shirley Street.
Let's go. Yeah, people make suggestions that you extend the route to Elizabeth Avenue, and that will allow more people to a longer route on Bay Street or whatever it is. But that's something to consider.
You don't want the thing take 14 hours now.
Boy.
All right, here's another. We're now at number 4. Inadequate amenities for paying guests.
Is it about the paying guests? Because they're mentioning, what about the tourists? And I'm saying Junkanoo have nothing to do with the tourists. If the tourists won't come to our festival, you ever gone to Sunsplash and they mention, oh, what about the tourists? We're the only country who say national events, which is for the nationals, and they say always consider the foreigners.
I mean,
It's odd. It's an odd narrative.
this may be the oddest thing coming from, the greatest group in Junkanoo, white people in the whole world. Tourists supposed to feel slightly scared at Junkanoo. Like they're supposed to feel slightly uneasy. Like we're not quite sure what is happening or what is going to happen. That's the experience that tourists supposed to be getting from Junkanoo. Y'all want a Macy's Day Parade
They
slash
wanted a Macy's Day
Carnival, Brazil Carnival, Trinidad Carnival type vibe.
That's what they want.
Junkanoo's supposed to be slightly scary.
And the same narrative caused or resulted in our former prime minister creating Carnival here. Because these same people who complaining now made it necessary to say, okay, we need to create a carnival now to pacify these people who complaining. But let's go to the next one.
I can swear you just called me a grouper. I ain't sure though.
Yeah, there you go.
I ain't sure.
There you go.
What though? Okay, number 5, dancers at the front. So the lead dancers, the dancers who are away from the music, they be dancing to nothing.
That is a problem. One point in time, they used to have recorded music to play in the banner, and you dance to the recorded music. And of course, it backfires, or when you have counter.
Well, no,
music.
because you're not supposed to have canned music. You're supposed to get penalized for music coming out of speakers. All the music is supposed to be produced by the Junkanoos on the route. The question is, if you have 900 members in your group, why is it that you don't have a frontline band? Why is it that you don't have a rudimentary drum, whistle, and cowbell performance for the dancers in the front and for the pieces in the front?
All the music is synced. They all practice together. It's one sound.
So you telling me
One band,
hold on,
one sound.
Hold on. Newry, see, this is what I'm saying. First of all, you're extracting $35 million from this economy every year, and you haven't figured out how to sync 2 sets of musicians all playing the same thing, one set at the front of the group and one set at the back of the group?
Yes, I'm saying that.
Man, but who we gonna fire?
Well,
Somebody needs to be fired.
Who can find you? And they say you own a part of Junkanoo.
$35 million makes me a part of Junkanoo.
We still can't find out how they pay. Where does $35 million number
You mean
come from?
where it's extracted from?
We don't know. I think it's extracted from water and sewage of some sort, but that's just me. Let's go to the next one.
I almost jumped in that pond just now.
Yep.
I swear I was a
Beating you bad. Let's go.
Number 6, we sort of touched on that. Groups too big. Yeah, that's because that's a core. You see, that's a core element of the issues that right. A number of these things arise from that. And number 7, lead pieces too big for a parade route.
And that's a given. There was a response. There was a response by A.J. Roll. I want to read that because I want you to comment on it again. It said, every Junkanoo season, the same questions arise, usually well-meaning, but often based on problem. Here are my thoughts on a few recently posted conclusions regarding the current downtown Nassau Junkanoo parades. 1, no, it does not. It takes 10 plus hours when a parade is run inefficiently or rules are not enforced.
When has a parade? Tell me what year a parade has taken less than 10 hours in the last decade.
When Jeff Lloyd was running it.
Jeff Lloyd ain't been in government in the last decade.
Maybe remember his last, take him notes, 10, last year, decade. That's about 10 years, going on 13 years.
You mean post-COVID?
Yeah, remember he was that before COVID. 5 years, this is 8 years, and then he was
Yeah, parade is not run effectively in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Maybe when he did it.
Yeah, wait a minute. But
But
my point is, I think A.J. Roll is saying that it only takes 10 plus hours when it's not managed properly. So if we learn to manage it properly, it won't take it.
But that's what we've been saying.
Say, case in point.
That's the point of the That's the point of the critique. Is that the critique is about the management, not just the management of the parades, but the management of the groups as well.
So it still falls back on the JCNP in terms of managing the parade and setting out rules and enforcing.
Well, if you are management and kind of oversight body, and you are comprised of the members of the group, it shouldn't even be a question. We shouldn't even have to talk about it.
And them group marshals, they're not encouraging their members to move. Let's go. We got to go. So case in point, the Makers and Prodigals sons were allowed to enter the parade lying up after both groups had already confirmed that they were sitting out of the Boxing Day parade. I was surprised.
Hold on, he said the groups themselves confirmed they were sitting out?
It was announced that they...
I know it was announced.
I assumed someone had announced it, make the announcement.
I mean, listen, our news made is the first announcement I saw. Then I saw Vaughn Albury interviewing someone from the JCNP, and that individual said Redland Soldiers, Congos, and Prodigal Sons didn't make it.
And Makers also.
No, he didn't mention Music Makers.
At the time?
They were mentioned in the Our News story, but then when I turned on the TV, Music Makers was on the TV.
It's strange. But how were they allowed to still participate when they penalized them instead? Say, well, the idea that they were late.
See, here's the
thing.
thing.
A penalty,
the
not
individual from the JCNP was going through some of the logistics and the rules for the evening. For instance, every group had to be there by 9 p.m. The groups would lead out B group first, A group, B group, A group. If you were not prepared to go, a B group, the next B group would be assigned to go, not the next A group on the list, right? Went through all of these things, talked about being penalized for not being ready to go at your time. But at no point did he say that teams those groups I said didn't make it to Bay will be assessed a penalty when they eventually rush.
Continuing A.J. Roll's point, he said, hundreds of additional seats could be added by extending the parade route to Victoria Avenue, an additional block east of the current Elizabeth Avenue turn. So he's giving suggestions to be done to extend Junkanoo to Elizabeth Avenue. He also suggests that we get rid of comp tickets will also help. He said everyone should pay. Apparently there's a lot of comp tickets. All the politicians get to sit down for free.
And so here's my thing. I don't mind a comp ticket. I don't mind a comp ticket.
You don't mind?
Why are they all in Rawson Square?
That's a good seat.
Well, do you pay for the good seats? First of all, comp tickets to poor people who have plenty children and can't afford to take all their children to Junkanoo one time. Comp tickets in the areas that are not overly populated. The rich people who want to be where the rich people are could afford to pay to be where the rich people are. That's why they rich people and want to be around other rich people.
Rich people pay for anything. They always get comfortable.
When I become prime minister,
So all the dignitaries of the Bahamas, especially those ambassadors,
should feel ashamed to get comp tickets. Oh, that since you dangled the little piece of bait in front of me, Mr. Newry, all of those dignitaries ashamed to receive comp tickets.
what about the hotel who sponsored and the big companies who sponsored the event? Shouldn't they get free tickets?
Sponsoring a national event should not leave you feeling like you should get special treatment. You should see it as an honor to be able to participate in this element of national development, celebration of cultural heritage, and preservation of one of the most important spiritual, cultural practices in the nation. You should be ashamed to get comp tickets, and you could afford to get comp ticket. You could afford to buy the tickets yourself. You should be ashamed. Go on. Sorry, I was biting.
No, man, that was good. That's good.
I was biting the debate.
AJ Rome mentioned again that Junkanoo is a street festival. And as a street festival, it needs to be on Bahamian streets.
So my point was this. If the JCNP say they own Boxing Day and New Year's Day parades, right? If they say it's theirs and they could do with it what they want, well, then let them go take it wherever they want and do whatever they want with it. But we should maintain a festival on Bay Street. And if it's not going to be the fancy one where these guys want to innovate, and even though they risk becoming Brazil and Trinidad Carnival, this parade on Bay Street is a more authentic, closer to the root, traditional practice of Junkanoo on the Bay Street so we could reclaim it.
He's questioning whether the groups are too big. And I know we mentioned that earlier and said who is to determine what is too big and what is too small.
Your ability...
Will that be the government tell the JCNP, okay, we want you to tell the groups too big? Or will it be the JCNP say, man...
It won't be either of them. That will be determined by the fixed elements of the equation. The space you're moving through is fixed. The amount of time you have to move through is fixed. What can you change? You could change your efficiency of movement, and if you can't change your efficiency of movement, you need to drop the number of people in your group or the elements of pieces that you're bringing to bay so that you can move more efficiently. All we need is a Gordon Ramsay or a John Tafer to fix this, you know. They could come in and Gordon Ramsay the whole Bahamas one time.
Let's see another point that AJ John Rowell mentioned. If you need to watch Junkanoo with all your creative creature comfort, watch it free on TV, on the big screen at home, and with the benefits of your home cinema system. I believe that.
My home cinema system?
Yeah.
You mean when I take
if you want the comfort of home and all
yeah,
that?
the phone and put it up on the windowsill, like, you know, the windowsill, and crutch it right there in the corner so it could still be charged and I could watch it there. I appreciate that.
Do you know at Bay Street, there are people who eat souse or who get souse catered to them on Bay Street and eat stew fish? Mm-hmm. Like a VIP section? Mm-hmm. You know, that's a thing now on Bay Street. It's like they created an elite enclave,
yeah.
Right on Bay Street, right? They already move people from standing up, right? And then they create a gated community.
So you're telling me that the people have become the thing they used to rush against?
The people have become the thing they used to rush against. The have and have-nots, those who want to be seen. I mean, like, cool with it, but I am concerned. But those are the things I wanted to bring about. But I want to still go back to... I see we have text.
Yeah.
I still want to go back to Roots, right? That's Roots who came second. I did not appreciate the Jamaican theme, right? Maybe because I'm a nationalist. Maybe because I know that it would not be reciprocated any place in the Caribbean. Then I said, am I being anti-black because the Valley came up with France? Why I'm not concerned about France? And
Which Valley?
The world famous, that's what they call it, the world famous Valley Boys.
I mean, I can tell you something. I couldn't pay for that type of irony. Like, I couldn't afford the subscription for that type of entertainment.
What you mean?
The 1958 Valley Boys went with France as
They went to France. I mean, they did try to. They attempted to pick France, but see, I could appreciate they had an aspect of culture, like I said,
like colonialism,
not colonialism, because they know they come over Britain. Someone came over Britain before,
like
or Britannia,
imperialism.
you know. But I'm saying that when it comes to small countries that
Did they
influence,
did they have small African countries running France out of West Africa? Did they bring that to the Bay?
they had
to Bay Street?
crumpets and pastries and whatever it is in their interpretation.
You cannot-
And then they had Napoleon.
Listen,
the short man.
I would like to thank the JC. I couldn't pay for that type of entertainment. I couldn't pay for that. You serious?
I'm serious.
Yeah, man. Don't watch nothing.
So what's the greatest show?
Maybe
on earth?
John Canoe doing exactly what it's supposed to
But
do.
I was entertained. I waiting to see now New Year's Day what each group come out with, to see if Saxons come out just as strong, right? To see if the JCNP will entertain any of the suggestions and make commentary about any of the concerns that these people lay.
You think we can have a press conference between now and then indicating that the prodigal sons have been moved in the list? Like, we just ain't gonna let them come out as number one. Like, obviously, y'all could do whatever you want. Like, take the money, don't take the money, whatever. But we ain't letting them come out first out the gate. We could do that? You think we can see a press? They supposed to come out first.
Or it could be a long day. I believe we need to volunteer people now to help them reach Bay on time. Just give them trucks. They say, we'll bring you stuff.
That's what the JCNP supposed to do.
No, that's not what they changed. They managed the parade.
Okay.
They managed the parade. We're going to be right back. I have another topic. We mash up John Canoe now and analyze it. What else? You want to read the text?
No, the text. Yeah, but I mean,
we can read the text, and then I will tell you what I want to talk about next. This has been Guardian Radio AM with CA Newry. We're talking John Canoe today. We're talking JCNP and their mandate and whether they need to respond to these concerns, these critique, whether John Canoe can be improved upon, whether this idle talk about moving John Canoe is just an idle talk, whether this extension to Elizabeth Avenue is something plausible, whether there's really a different sound with the acoustics.
You think any people of Haitian descent in the 1958 Valley Boys?
Of course.
And they chose France?
They could have chose Haiti.
John Canoe.
Anyway, we'll be right back.
Hello?
Linda, this is me. Listen, I think that this Christmas you should really get in the spirit of things. I mean, apart from the great prices, I think your customers would like to see more of you. So I think that you should greet your customers. Some in the morning, some in the afternoon. I don't expect you to be there all day. Now listen. Now, you know red is the color of Christmas. So I think that you should be in a red tuxedo. You would be saying something. Your customers would really feel.
We're sorry.
You can wear that red suit this Christmas. Sale ends December 21st.
Love the show? Want to give your support? Become a sponsor today. Call 302-2300 for our rates and packages. That's 302-2300. Become a sponsor on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Welcome back to Guardian Radio AM with CA Newry. I just realized quality stamps finish at the end of next week. January 1st, there will be no more quality stamps. I have plenty. I need to start licking them and pasting them. I don't have no card, but I just need to paste them on
You
something
can get
and go
white
shopping.
paper and just make your own card.
Yeah, I just want to encourage people, don't let your stamps waste.
Yeah.
Don't let your stamps waste. Or call the station and bring them to me so I could go shopping.
When the other people them used to do stamps, I had a neighbor. He bought himself a new pair of Nike tennis and his mommy a two-way round trip flight on Bahamas Air to one of the family islands.
You ever remember when they had stamps used to be a book?
Yeah.
And you go to portion control. You don't even know where portion control is. Where portion control used to be. That's Wolf Road? Maybe. That's Robinson Road.
That's your business.
Okay. That's
You
Robinson
just
Road.
could let me off the side porch.
and
Why are you
East Street.
teasing me like this?
Yeah, in bicycle with my books.
God forbid, Una Hasty? You think Una Hasty wouldn't even let me look out the window?
I'm just saying. Also, I want to congratulate the fancy dancers.
Yeah.
The fancy dancers get Fox. What the Fox Foundation? Fox Foundation to sponsor them. And because they get, money influence Jonker. That's my point I'm trying to make. They finally toppled Colors International. I think that's the correct name. But the fancy dancers is now number one in the B category. And I believe all that is because they get access to sponsorship. And it shows that sponsorship is important. And if more corporate citizens can donate or give to these B group in particular, You can
Hold on. No, maybe I could restate it.
Go ahead.
So you asking, you trying to extract more than the 35 million that's already being extracted?
I try to get the Immortals to
As
get
a-
sponsored. The Immortals need
No,
a sponsor.
I for that. See, don't put the two things together because
Okay.
I for the Immortals getting the sponsor too. But what I'm saying
They can do
is that
wonders.
maybe we need to talk about a more equitable allocation of resources within Junkanoo as opposed to figuring out where we can find more to extract on top of the 35 million that's already being extracted.
You were
Mr.
just
Newry.
35. Let's go to the phone call so we can go to my next topic. Go ahead, caller. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear both of you. I'd like to thank you this morning. You all are really taking the junk out of Junkanoo.
There you go.
Thank you.
Listen up. I go to the referee whistle, and like I said last year, I just blow my head off, and I'm too tired to go to any of the events. But now, if you're going to extend it to Elizabeth, and you're going to reduce the sizes, maybe we could have two groups start. One start at Elizabeth and Bay, and the other start at Frederick. And that way, those people who are on Shirley don't have to wait 2 hours to see the group that started. Mm-hmm. Would that be a good thing to do? If you extend it all the way up to Elizabeth and reduce the group size, then we all will have Junkanoo.
But what if I want B Saxons, though?
You
They
could do
can't
whatever you
expel
want.
me out my group.
Yeah, well, see, Newry, what I'm simply saying is everybody won't do that. What I'm saying is if you on, let's say right now you on Shirley Street, you have to wait until the group leaves all the way from Frederick, Bay, and then come up Elizabeth for you to see that?
But isn't there another group on Shirley Street
Yes.
while that group is on Bay?
There
when
has
they
been.
start, though.
There
I
has
say,
been.
but when they start.
I got you.
Well, let me make this point. The JCNP has shown movement. And one of the movements or improvements they have done over the years is they have two parades start at one time, at exact same time. One group start on Shirley Street and one group start on Bay Street at the same time. So
Okay.
if you on Shirley Street, you don't miss anything.
Oh,
and if
but
you
see,
on Bay
like
Street,
I say, I just blow my head off doing the practice sessions, and then I don't go to Junkanoo.
yes, the problem one group doesn't show up or starts late,
Yes.
and when you're supposed to be going on to Shirley Street so everyone can feel it and experience a Junkanoo parade at the same time, someone comes late, and then
Well, I'm
the
glad you
delay.
guys are taking the junk out of Junkanoo.
Thank you.
Someone must do an analysis.
And I like that practice sessions. See, spectators have formed or carved out their own ways to experience Junkanoo. Frustrated with the Bay Street and the New Year's Day parades, people experience Junkanoo at the practices. They have greater proximity to the group, to the energy, to the music, to the fun.
Let's read a text, and I want to ask you a question. Should we, when Junkanoo is happening, like when things go wrong or when we're trying to improve it, should we consider the tourists? I always say this, since it's a cultural and national event, it should be Bahamians we consider, and if the tourists benefit from what we would be trying to improve for the Bahamians experience, then it's good. But we don't, the goal is for any national event, any prime things dealing with the Bahamas, it should be always the Bahamian you consider. Full stop.
Listen, let me tell you something about wasted energy. Junkanoo is supposed to be the thing that brings overnight cruising back to the Bahamas. Supposed to be the element that sparks the return of overnight cruising to the Bahamas. Junkanoo is supposed to be the thing that you convince these cruise ships that they need to return to the old model of overnighting in the Bahamas. That's supposed to be the draw. And if it starts with Christmas season, the cruise line does 2 overnight cruises. One that aligns with New Year's, one with Boxing Day, the other aligns with New Year's. Maybe it's one cruise, they cruise the Caribbean for a week, they start in the Bahamas for Boxing Day, the people are overnight, they get back on the boat in the morning or wherever,
So-
they go through the Caribbean and then they come back for New Year's.
So no souvenir, because all the shops will be closed. So no souvenir, no T-shirt, no tours. They can't say, well, I've been to Nassau and I've gone to all these things because I'm only coming there when everything's closed and the experience Junkanoo.
Let's talk about innovation from the cruise port across to with that Prince George Wharf, the road right there, that road in between the port and bay. Vendors are set up to sell things.
You ever go there during Junkanoo? That's a trench.
Sir,
That's a trench.
you
And when I
telling
say
me
it's a
Port,
trench,
you telling me $35 million these by them extract from the economy every year and they haven't figured out adequate human waste management?
They have it. That's the back road. That's what you do.
No, that's not what you do when ain't nobody. That's what you do when people are more concerned about lotioning each other as opposed to being the adults in the room. Mr. Newry.
I mean, Prince George Wharf is spelled like the back of CIBC after John Canoe.
That's an easy fix. That's not a fixed determinant.
Water
With street lights, with vendors, with police attention.
The police is on bay, watching everyone.
You know how much police we have, man? Listen.
Only 2,000?
We keep justifying incompetence. We just keep justifying incompetence.
Let's talk about the police. Yes,
I wanted.
During Boxing Day.
Yes, sir.
During Boxing Day, the media decided to ask our commissioner of police a question. They asked about the Superintendent Michael Johnson case.
At John Canoe.
Now, mind you, I'm waiting for the commissioner to come and address. Remember, he promised he's going to address the Bahamian people.
Was he in uniform or was he?
He was in uniform. I think. I'm sure. I have the thing on my page.
He's on duty and not off duty.
And I cannot say because I just remember they speaking to him. So I don't remember what he was wearing. But my point is they preempted his address by asking him the question, what's happening with the Michael Johnson case, Superintendent Michael Johnson case. And it seems as if our commissioner of police is now no longer coming to the Bahamian people because they preempted him. And he issued 4 sentences. He said he has now turned over the report to the
DPP?
The DPP. Full stop. That's it. Don't ask him nothing more. He finished with it. He did a Pontius Pilate. I wash my hands off of that. That's what Pontius Pilate do. He ain't get the blame no more for killing Christ. He wash his hand off of that and send it to the DPP. He said, what they gonna do? It ain't gonna be him. He ain't suspending nobody. He ain't gonna say he doing any charges. He ain't gonna say what he find, anything wanting. He said he turn it over to the DPP. And whatever they decide to do over there, don't come to bother me. Don't expect no more statements.
Is this the same interview where apparently he said that the reason he resigned was because of the vacation time he had left?
I only listened to the mic thing.
I can be honest with you.
Because he had plenty of vacation.
From I saw the car on Bay Street, I couldn't hear anything else.
The car ain't had no battery or no engine, man. There's a push car.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you once again.
I just mad at the reggae music.
Imagine if it was made by students at BTVI or one of our local
You have
high
a good
schools.
imagination. These people didn't have no good imagination. They just bring the car and they play reggae music. It was a reggae sunsplash event. The people start bogling. They forget about the John Canoe sound and say, this is a reggae event.
So when I read this article, Fernandez's decision to resign based on using vacation time before expiry, and it says, in his first interview since announcing his intention to resign, is that that's a John Canoe interview or this is a separate interview?
That seems the same John Canoe interview. He is re-narrating the narrative. Because I thought, I'm not sure if you thought.
Okay, I just want to say, this ain't no interview. Why y'all gonna call it an interview? It's not an interview.
It's an impromptu, but the thing is, he ain't coming back to us. That's my point. When the commissioner of police, I want you to read that part too. When the commissioner of police resigned, what was your initial thought of why he resigned? Just you. Why you thought he resigned?
Because he was going to do the honorable thing.
Honorable thing of what? What was the reason you thought he resigned?
For taking responsibility for whatever happened under the space that you are in charge of, whether you were involved in it or not.
So you think that he resigned because of criticism?
No, that's not it. It's not a criticism thing. It's supposed to be an element of the Westminster system, right? That when there's disrepute or questions are raised within the space that you are responsible for, whether you are involved in or not, you do the honorable thing and you resign. And most importantly, you resign so that your presence does not become a barrier to the pursuit of justice.
And I tell you, the commissioner of police said, you're wrong. Because now I read what he say, why he resigned.
I tell you,
say it again. I want the Bahamian people to realize, we thought something completely contrary. Now he's going to tell us what the commissioner say, why he resigned.
Quote, I decided I have a lot of vacation.
Lord.
Remember, you could only say it once.
Yeah, that's why I said, take the demon out of my mouth, Lord, because it almost came out.
And I decided after speaking with family members that I would just carry it on.
My Lord.
Close quotes. He said, confirming that January 3rd will be his last day in office as Assistant Commissioner Shanta Knowles prepares to take the top post.
Now we know why he resigned. He had vacation. He had vacation. It was not because of the criticism or the critique or this Westminster system that you suggested. It's not because of that. He
So
talked to
pause.
his family members. Hold on. He didn't speak to the Prime Minister. He didn't speak to whoever else he spoke to after the horrendous speech he gave, right? With a cut and paste and people looking at it. What we just watch? It's because he had vacation.
When did he resign? Was it in November or December? Top of December
I
or
don't
November?
remember no more.
Okay, so but it's still less than a month. Let's call it a month, right? A month. The resignation date is January 3rd. So he decided he was going to take the 1 month of vacation? That's what he decided. He needed to take the 1 month of vacation?
The man wanted
What-
vacation.
That's what prompted, sir, that's how hard you were working? That you really needed this when retired?
Man, so you come and talk to your wife, and your wife's mad.
Don't bring, I'm cracking fun about him. Don't
I'm
bring
just-
his wife into it while I
He said
cracking
he talked to
jokes.
family. He said he talked to family.
But-
When I talk to my family, you know who I talking to? My wife. Because she's have opinions. She's telling me I can't do things. And I say, okay.
I understand that too, even though
You
I
talk
don't,
to
I
your
don't
wife.
even have a wife.
Yeah.
But the point is, I'm not cracking jokes about her.
No, I crack a joke, but I told the man. Let's go to the callers, Tim. Producer, pass the caller through. Go ahead, caller. Can you hear us?
Hello.
Yeah, we have 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Yeah. What I think happened is, Miss Green and Mr. Newry, is that with the commissioner, what I think happened is that where the indictment come from the United States, him and the Prime Minister sit down because you know that they publicly say they're good friends. And they consider it making the country look bad, making them shame. So he take the heat off the Prime Minister. But the bigger picture, why they was easy to do that, because they were shameless and never wanted to resign or accept a resignation, is that there's a high-sitting, ranking politician sitting in our cabinet or in politics.
Alleged.
You believe in conspiracy theory.
Alleged.
Allegedly.
You believe in
Alleged.
conspiracy theories.
Allegedly. And surprised that they don't say unofficial winners, like how they used to. They say the winners is Saxons. If you look at me, I think Roots is sound good, but I just couldn't see it to appreciate that Saxon might have looked better, but I thought Roots went the parade. I thought it's unofficially till they do a concourse. Roots could turn out to be the winners then maybe by tomorrow or next week.
We'll
Y'all
see.
keep up the good work.
Thanks
you.
very much. Well, it's 12 o'clock. I did not know people was going on vacation, and that's why they resign. Resign is a different word, no. When you go on vacation, you say going on vacation. You don't say you were resigning.
No, you take your vacation leave
And you retire.
up to retirement, right?
But when
it's
the
a month.
But he said he resigned. Remember, it was a resignation letter. Was it a resignation letter or was it a retirement letter? What was it? Someone taking me for
A month? That's all you.
someone take me for a month. That's what they did. That's what
Anyway,
you're trying to
we
say?
ain't talking about other people, me and wife and thing. Hey,
Someone take me for going. I smarter than that. I ain't going QC, but I went sack.
I mean, you out there baiting me.
Yeah.
Like a fisherman.
This has been Guardian Radio AM with CA Newry. Don't let these people bait you. Have a wonderful day.